Well, it looks like I'm actually a little bit early, but this is our starting point. We're about 3.5 mirror lengths across, and we're going to start. Hope the new camera works well for everybody. I'm getting a little bit of rocking on the bench. I might have to wedge a little bit of paper under one leg if it's not working that well. So, as always, start off with a run through with the pattern. So we open the quadrant on the left. We take the outside two on the right, bring them to the center on the left, spread out the ones on the right, take the outside two from the left, bring them to the center of the right, and then grab all four of the ones we just moved and pull it a little snug, keep the point of braiding tight. And then we take the bottom two center, move them up to the center at the top, and move back down the bottom, and just keep alternating until we've done all the purple threads. Now, according to the YouTube monitor, there were 2 people waiting right before I started, but apparently nobody's here now, which of course may just be a lie because YouTube has a tendency to give me weird information. Keep those nice and separate. Don't want them tangling up in ways other than those intended. Sorry if I don't have a lot to chat about right now. I was watching the Daryl Brooks trial earlier today, and that was making me very sad and unhappy. So I'm really enjoying a chance to braid tonight. And since I've occasionally mentioned it a few times, I was able to pass my constable's online continuing education, so I'm certified for another year. Though the education really isn't all that hard. As long as you can pay attention, it's usually fairly easy to pass with 100%. They usually throw in like one trick question out of the 10-question test. It's not really a bad trick question. It's only one if you read too fast. Like they'll ask you something in the form that you would normally expect to see because they've repeated it over and over again in the training, except they'll say not doing that is the right thing as opposed to doing it is the right thing. As long as you just make sure you know exactly what they're asking, you're usually pretty good. And I really need to spend the time fixing my Takadai this weekend. Now that I'm done with constable training, I should at least be able to get started with it. And hopefully, maybe within a week or so, I'll be able to start doing some Takadai streams again. There we go. Oh, and I do want to say that I do appreciate everybody who takes the time to watch these videos, even if you're not doing it live. Just trying to spread the word of Kumihimo, get people able to do a hobby that they want to, make beautiful art. And if enough of you subscribe and watch regularly, hopefully get monetized so I can afford to do this more often. Might even be able to get some machining or printing time lapses done this weekend. And I've been doing more CNC programming at work over the last week or two, so I'm getting in the programming mindset again. Looks like it's just about time to reposition the bag, maybe in a couple more cycles of the pattern. And we can see where we are progress-wise. Since I don't seem to have anybody live, anybody that's watching this later on, if you could leave a comment letting me know if the lighting is adequate or if I should provide more light, I can definitely do that. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to take a second and just go ahead and do that, just see if it improves the video a little bit. Okay. A little bit better. Get the chair nice and close so that I don't hurt my back with my arms too far forward. And based on how the braid's reacting, it's time to lift the bag up. And not quite 4, only added about maybe 2 inches. There we go. Bag kept sliding down. And readjust that just a little bit to get it back in the center. Okay. We got somebody online live. Hey, welcome, Wolf Blades Alpha. Give me a second and I will go through the pattern real quick so you can see what it is I'm going to be doing, or what I am doing. So, pattern's fairly simple. We open up the left quadrant. We take the two outermost right ones, move them to the center of the left. Open up the right, take the two outermost on the right, move them to the center on the left. And for proper tensioning, we grab the four that we just moved in our hands and pull it a little snug in the center. Then we spread open the top quadrant, take the center two from the bottom one, straight across to the top, and then working our way back out, one at a time, we alternate back and forth until all of the purple ones have exchanged their positions, top relative to bottom. And that's the whole pattern. If you have any questions about Kumihimo in general, or anything specific about this braid, or pretty much anything in general, I'm happy to answer it or talk about it. From Wolfbrook Blades, I take it you're a bladesmith? Oh, okay, no worries. I used to do some blacksmithing a while back, made some pattern welded steel, but never actually got around to making the material into blades. I realized I hadn't touched anything for about 10 years, so I started switching my shop around so I could start doing CNC related stuff, and started making braiding equipment and other things with it. No worries. My name Torin I actually picked for SCA usage, and in the dim mists of time, it was taken from a comic book, so I entirely understand the cringy history. But surprisingly enough, it was actually a fairly accurate name for the time period I was shooting for, so I kept it. And since most of my online activity in the early 90s was related to the Society for Creative Anachronism, I pretty much kept that as my name for a lot of my online activity these days, even if I'm doing a lot of other stuff. But if I didn't say it before, welcome to the chat. Also, looks like we've got somebody else on, so whoever that is, welcome to them as well. And just in case, I'll go over the pattern again real quickly. Spread open the left quadrant. Take the outer two on the right, move it to the center two on the left, spread it out on the right, take the outer two on the left, move it to the center on the right, grab all four threads you just moved, pull a little snugly so the point of braiding is nice and firm, and then spread out the top quadrant, take the center two from the bottom, move up to the center two at the top, and alternate back and forth until all the purple threads have been exchanged top to bottom. Yeah, I'm on some of the Facebook Kumihimo groups, and I do post the links here for all the live streams I do, and I'm trying to figure out where I can spread the word out so that more people can see it. So if you have any suggestions, I also post a link to Twitter for most of the live streams. And I'm also doing shorter videos where I just basically do one time through the pattern, where people don't have to watch a whole live stream to get the pattern. Next braid I'm going to add to the rotation of doing these is a fairly complex braid. It's got like about roughly 30 moves in about 4 different renditions. So that'll be fun to try and do on a live stream. And apparently the tension is a little tricky, so I'll be playing around with that until I get it right. I don't have a TikTok account. I'll have to think about that one. About time to drop the weights on the yellows. They're getting a little high up. And this is what's called a lark's head knot. It has a nice advantage of it doesn't want to unroll under gravity, but if you turn it the opposite way it wants to roll, it'll actually feed out. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. And I'm going to keep doing these probably about 3 or 4 times a week for the foreseeable future. And I'll try and rotate through different braids so it's not always the same thing every single time. But I'm trying to do all my braiding on live streaming these days. Looks like everything's still staying in focus. The new webcam I've got has a fairly tight focus, so I don't have a whole lot of margin from adjusting it. It's either in focus or it's out. Okay, let me finish this one up and I'll see if I can tweak it a little bit. That's about the best I can get. And sorry for the slight rocking motion. I've got it on a homemade camera boom, which is a little flexible. I might wind up trying to stiffen it up a bit, but for a first try, it's working reasonably well. At least now people can see it from my viewpoint rather than the viewpoint of somebody who would be sitting across from me. Yeah, my day job is at a plastic machining shop, and there was some nice 1.5 inch square PVC left over from a job, and I was able to, with a drill and a tap, make a nice camera boom. I could shorten it up a little bit, which would stiffen it up, but I don't want the camera or the tripod that it's mounted on having to get so close that I'm bumping up against the footstool this is on. But speaking of trying to stabilize things, I'm going to try and stabilize this step stool real quick. There we go. That's a lot more stable. Should help keep things in focus better too. And it looks like it's time to raise the weight bag up again. This is DMC floss. I do have silk thread that I'm going to do on the Takadai, but I do enough Marudai braiding that the DMC floss is a inexpensive way of getting a nice color palette for the threads, and it doesn't take a lot of work to set it up. Hi, Bane Ironhand. It's good to see you on. So you like the new camera setup where you're seeing it from my side now, Bane? You're also in time for the weight drop, or the Tama drop. Oh, I forgot to do a length update when I did that. So we started at 3.5 lengths across the Marudai, and we're at 4 and probably about 1/8 of the way. So we're making good progress. It's only about half hour into the stream. I'm trying to do Tuesday, Thursday, and then either like a Friday or Saturday stream. And I've been doing them mostly around 7. I've tried 6 o'clock before and had good attendance one time and not so much the other time. I'm doing a little later at 8 p.m. Eastern to see if I can get some people that are further towards the West Coast at a reasonable hour for them. I'm still trying to see what it is that is a good time for people. So if you have suggestions, I'm happy to try them, see how well they work out. I usually don't get home from work until about 5:30 Eastern, so it's hard for me to do it before 6 o'clock. And they're long enough now, they want to get tangled. See if I can't pull them apart. There we go. Thanks, Bane. I really want to do this for a while, and I finally figured out how to make a relatively easy for me to make boom for my tripod. And I got the better webcam that doesn't have the autofocus that was really annoying the last time I tried it. Because it does make it a lot easier to convert these streams into usable information for people if it's if it actually matches up what they'd be seeing rather than sitting across from somebody doing it. But yeah, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, it should give you notifications. They're only like 3 that you get per day and not reliably, but since I don't stream more than like once a day at most, should hopefully let you know in advance. And I try and create the stream about my lunchtime so there's plenty of notice. One nice thing about trying to set up for recording, working in my shop, making the Takadai and Marudai equipment, is going to encourage me to clean it up so I'm not embarrassed by the mess out there. I'm actually fairly good at putting things back in their proper place. My issue is coming up with a proper place for something to put something. Sorry about that, Bane. And Wolf Blades, I'm not sure what you meant by ever watched your name. I'm aware of a video game where the main character was named Torn, but that's about it that I'm aware of. Ah, okay. Yeah, my wife tells me I use too much horizontal space as storage for stuff when it should go in someplace else. I'll have to look up that anime, Wolf Blades. I'm definitely like watching a lot of anime. I'm not a major league fan, but I do like the art form. Excuse me. I don't know if you're on Twitter or not, Bane, but I do post notices for the streams on Twitter as well. You can find me there at Torin1066. I haven't actually done anything on the Hiratukasa wolf blades. I've considered making one, but I haven't done so yet. I've done about probably 10 or 12 braids on the Takadai, and I find that really a nice piece of equipment to braid on. If you check my channel out, I've got about 10 videos, mostly braiding streams, of me braiding on the Takadai. I think I've got it set up as a playlist, but I'll have to check. Now that I've got a CNC router, it'll probably be much easier for me to make the feathers used in the Hiratukasa. Okay, I'm glad that you enjoyed watching them, or I hope you enjoyed watching them. But yeah, it's definitely a consistency for how you tap it. Otherwise, it's easy to get very off-center braid. On this particular braid, part of the reason that I tend to do the yellows and purple Tama drops at different times is they use up a different amount of thread per move, since the purples tend to not move a whole lot per pattern cycle, and the yellows move more as they're crossing the whole width, as opposed to the purples just back and forth over the thin line. Have a safe one, Wolfblade. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope to see you in the future. Oh, Bane, though we weren't talking about it, speaking of, so to speak, boomerang tech issues, I finally figured out how to get background play on the Rumble app, which makes it a lot easier to listen to Nick during the day when I do a replay of the overnight stream he does. I'm also considering starting to multi-stream to Rumble as well. I just have to get a StreamYard account and figure out how to multi-stream. Looks like it's about time to do another bag lift. Oh, Bane, did you catch any of the Daryl Brooks trial stream today? I know it was Legal Vices rather than Nick, but just before lunchtime, the judge sent the jury out of the courtroom, listened for about 50 minutes as Brooks went full sovereign citizen, and basically told him, yeah, that's all crap. And we'll see where it goes from there. It's really depressing listening to some of the testimony earlier. I've been fortunate not having to deal with any sovereign citizens in my role as a constable, but there are other constables I know who have to deal with the Sov citizens in this area, trying to get them to serve a bunch of bogus legal paperwork for them as part of their targeted harassment and scamming that they do. Yeah, if you want to catch it, it's I think just under 4 hours in on the stream that Legal Vices did today. Maybe about 3. She let him go for like 50 minutes without interrupting whatsoever, so he had a chance to get it out of his system. It didn't really help from what I heard. About that time, I switched over to Nick and Az and Sargon's painting stream. Time to lift the bag. Once I get to the end of this set. Well, that's good to hear that they got them out. Squatters can definitely be an issue. That's the other point. Constables in Pennsylvania have to deal with sovereign citizens, which, again, I've been lucky and not had to, is we do a lot of the evictions in the state. So when you get somebody who's squatting and the landlord wants them out, they tend to try and overload you with paper. That really doesn't mean much of anything. All right, let's see how far I've gotten. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. Making pretty good progress here. We got about 10 minutes left. If you'd like, Bane, I'm happy to run later. I'm actually doing pretty good tonight. Been mostly getting enough sleep. Sometime in the next month or 2, I'm supposed to get a sleep study for narcolepsy. Oh, I can definitely understand that. When you're dealing with winter and a lot of temps, a lot of the rules and regulations on how you handle things definitely change. Even down here south in Pennsylvania in the U.S., once it's winter, you can't like disconnect gas or oil service for people until the end of the winter. For if they stop paying. I've been to Canada once, but it was only Calgary and Alberta. I picked up a power hammer from a blacksmith there. I was living in Idaho at the time, so drove up through Idaho, across the border, went up to whatever the main east-west highway is, then drove over to Calgary. Listened to a lot of pre-recorded tapes I'd made of Dr. Demento's show. I've listened enough to Dr. Demento and Weird Al that some songs like Lola and the like, I can only really remember the Weird Al Yankovic lyrics for them. And my wife is not amused by the fact that I can sing fish heads to her. So she does like Taekwon Leap and Roman numerals by the Frantics. Okay. If I can remember my Canadian geography right off the top, that's between Alberta and Quebec, right? Yeah, I like Ray Stevens too, though I didn't listen to him as much. Another one my wife is willing to put up with, and I'm blanking on the name because I'm lousy with names, is the guy that did Werner von Braun and the hunting song where the guy shot 2 game wardens, 7 hunters, and a cow. I'm sure I can remember it in about 30 seconds, but... welcome to the stream. I am, because I'm lousy with remembering names, I'm doing Hiratukasa, which is a 24 strand flat braid. Let me bring it around so you can see what it is I'm making. The purple is the center flat band, and the yellow is the edges that go back and forth, providing the core for the purple to go back and forth across. It's 98. Give me a second here and I'll run through the pattern real quick. Getting back to the starting point. Okay, to do the pattern, from our starting point, we take the left quadrant, spread it out so we have room in the center. We take the outer 2 on the right, move them over to the center on the left, spread out the ones on the right side, take the outer 2 from the left, move them to the center on the right, and then we take all 4 and pull a little snugly to snug up the point of braiding in the center. Otherwise, you get a large gap between this and this as it's being braided. And then we spread the top quadrant apart so we can take the bottom two from the center, move it to the top center, and then we move back and forth alternating until we've moved all of the purple ones where the top and bottom have traded places. And that's the pattern. Sorry if I was redundant, Carolyn. I try and do that every so often just so people who drop in the stream or pick it up from anywhere have a chance to at least see what I'm doing if they don't have the book, and they can learn it from what I'm doing. My mother caught a braiding stream where I was doing braid 120 from Makiko's book, and she couldn't understand what I was doing. So I do try and explain it as simply as I can. But I really appreciate you coming by, and thank you for watching the stream. If there's anything I can answer or help with, please feel free to ask. Normally I end the stream after an hour, but since Bane was a little, or he arrived about halfway through because YouTube doesn't give good notifications, and you just joined, I'm happy to run a while longer. I'm not tired. I'm in a nice braiding mood, and happy to keep going. Next time I raise up the weight bag or when I end the stream, I'll do a length check. When I started today, I had about 3.5 strands across, or 3.5 lengths of the mirror in braid done. And when I last checked at the last bag raising, I was at 4.5, so probably about 14-15 inches done since I started the stream. This is a very fast moving braid. I figured there are a lot of people that learn by watching more than being able to decipher the patterns in the book. And I seem to have a talent for this, so I figured it would be a nice thing to do and help spread Kumihimo to people who want to pick it up, or for people who do it but don't always have a easy time deciphering the patterns. Dropping the tama because they're getting high up to the mirror. And at the rate I'm going, I got maybe 1 or 2 more streams after this one before this braid's finished. Okay. That's nice, Bane. I hope that you have the time for it and that you enjoy doing it. I'm hoping to have the braid I'm going to do for Nick done by spring at the latest. Depends on how much time I can braid on the Takadai to get it done, and how complex the pattern is. I still haven't drawn it out yet. It's basically going to be the Ricada Law logo in green and white. Yep, Carolyn, I've been in the SCA for like almost 40 years now. 2 more years, it'll be 40 years. Torin's actually my SCA name. Started playing in the area that's now Artemisia back when it was still just kind of unclaimed crown lands of Atenveld. I moved out probably about 4 or 5 years after Artemisia became a kingdom and moved to the east. I've been here for about 22 years now. But yes, I'm doing purple and gold for this braid because I've been posting notices about the braiding streams on the East Kingdom Facebook page, the unofficial discussion. About time to raise the bag again. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, we're actually up to 5, so that's been about, I'd say probably about 20 inches that I've done in just over an hour. This is a very fast-moving braid. I think I'm going to pull my other braids that I've done out, and at the start of future streams, like show 1 or 2 other braids I've done, just to kind of give a little more variation to the streams. One of the nice things about this braid is even though there are occasionally some gaps that I miss, like this along here, once this has had a chance to wear a bit, been washed maybe once or twice, it all evens out and you can't tell the difference. I made my apprentice belt out of this pattern, and after the first couple weeks of wearing it, you could not see any of those gaps. They were all settled out and no longer there. But when those gaps show up is when I don't tension well enough at this point in the braid. I think Saturday I will do a braiding stream where I do both of the Maru-dai braids I've been working on. Mix it up a little bit. I can't run too late on Saturday. Starting time wise, my wife normally works night shift, but she switches over to day shift on the weekend, and so she tends to go to bed early on Saturdays. And I don't want to keep her up with me doing this. I still have some braids that I made like almost 20 years ago. I don't necessarily wear them a lot, but um, cotton floss from DMC is actually wears fairly well. I have done some silk Marudai braids, and they actually get lost before they wear out. Give me a second to catch up on the chat here. No, I don't tend to steam them. I may wash them in like a washing machine or wash by hand once or twice, but I find wearing them a few times, they tend to soften up and be flexible and even. If you record or stream the steaming demo, I'm definitely interested in catching it. Okay, caught up on the chat. Okay, you have a safe one, Carolyn. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that. Happy to help. When I read your screen name, Bane, I keep thinking of Angry Baneling and wondering if he's ever going to come back to Nick's chat. When I first started listening to him, he tended to super chat a lot, so kept hearing it. I think somebody said they saw him on somebody else's chat like in the last month or so, but hope they're doing well. If I remember right, the comments he usually left were fairly amusing. At the rate I'm going, I might have to stop fairly soon, or I won't have enough for a decent stream for the final time on this one. Some of these are getting not much left on them. Speaking of gaming, I actually have an original Warhammer 40k rulebook. When the first batch got delivered, apparently they were shipped via container ship, and the cargo hold froze to the point that all the glue in the bindings cracked. So everybody I knew was having their books falling apart within like a couple of months of getting them. So I went ahead and actually had mine professionally rebound. Okay. All right. Well, in that case, I will go ahead and stop this. Thank you very much for stopping by. Sorry that you missed the first half, or actually about first third. Um, thank you very much. And I'd say happy braiding, but with you, it's definitely going to be ankle, I guess. So see you around, and I'll probably be on Saturday. Stay safe.